it's kind of like vehicle inspection on steroids using AI technology.
You have it at the tip of your hand in your mobile device. You can see these things that were a bit relying on mechanics. Be lean and use the least resources to have the most relevant eyeballs that, whether it's dealer groups, whether it's in the end getting to the car manufacturers.
Welcome back to another episode, world, to Marketing on Mars. Today, we have a special guest working on a CMO, working on some very interesting technology. So, Yaron, I hope I'm saying your name correctly.
Yeah, you could just say Yaron, but yeah, Yaron Saghiv.
Yaron Saghiv. He's currently the Chief Marketing Officer at UVeye. Honestly, I've seen a lot of different startups. This is probably one of the more interesting startups I've seen. So super excited to dive into that. But before that, maybe I'll give a short little intro. Yaron has worked on a lot of different startups, both in Israel, in London. Now he's in the US for a variety of different industries. Maybe Yaron, if you can just kind of give us a little bit about how your career progressed and how you became the Chief Marketing Officer at UVeye, that would be fantastic.
Sure. So I've been involved in startups for almost 14 years now, from the age of 23 actually. Co-founding and mainly being the Chief Marketing Officer in both B2C and also B2B companies, from varying from the leisure industry, different SaaS platforms, and to what I do today at UVeye, which is an artificial intelligence startup in the automotive space. So throughout the years, I've as you mentioned, marketed and been an active part in companies from early stage up to scale, like we are at now in Israel, in the United States, in the United Kingdom, London, Manchester, Singapore. So quite a few markets of taking a concept that has raised quite a bit of funds and then implementing it to a scalable solution and manner.
Yeah. And I'd like to just say for the listeners, I know we're 2 minutes in, it's a startup, but they've raised in a couple of different Series A, B, and also C, you've raised over $100 million. So even though it's a startup, it's not, a typical bootstrap startup, and you guys are doing crazy things. So I would love to kind of just dive into it. So on a very, very high level, and we might show some videos in the show notes, but in a very high level, essentially, it's kind of like vehicle inspection on steroids using AI technology, almost like how would you describe UVeye to someone who's just kind of like never heard of it before?
So what we do is we create automatic inspection devices for vehicles. So it's automatic inspection systems. A good way to describe it, which isn't very accurate, is almost like an MRI, a visual external MRI for a vehicle. So it's almost a station that's modular. It combines three main pieces of hardware, which is connected to an algorithm or a software on the cloud. But basically, it's different cameras and sensors and lighting that takes pictures all around your vehicle, and within seconds can tell you anything that's wrong with it.
Yeah. And it's crazy. So basically, any vehicle, whether it's a car or a train or an airplane, can essentially just drive over or through this kind of machine, and in like 3 seconds or something, be able to take be able to know every single area where the vehicle is damaged, whether there's rust or anything within 3 seconds, right? Or is it even faster than that?
Yeah, it's drive-through. It depends on the internet connection. Just to correct you, today we're applying computer vision to look at certain areas and look for things like you mentioned, rust, oil leaks, broken parts, low tread on the tire, issues with foreign objects and nails in the tire, scratches, dents around the vehicle. We don't scan airplanes and trains just yet. We're very focused on vehicles, on cars, any type of
Okay, okay.
car. Could be, a SUV, could be a private, could be a truck, any type of vehicle. And as you mentioned, these are automatic devices which are seamless. They create a very good experience, whether you go to the dealership, which is a big space where we are operating, or auctions or fleets that want to predict and prevent mechanical and safety issues. And it's almost like a small tunnel with lighting that you drive through it. And once you drive through it, within seconds, whether it's on a tablet or on your phone or on a big TV screen, it will just tell you anything that could be wrong with your vehicle and requires attention.
Wow. So the main focus right now are cars, and you mentioned, there has been a lot installed, over 200 installations worldwide, right?
True. True.
And you're working with big dealerships. Can you name some of the dealerships that you guys are working with right now?
Sure. So we are already installed in almost 100 dealerships across the United States, pretty much all car manufacturers that you could imagine or that you know. It's worth mentioning Volvo, Toyota, Hyundai, General Motors, and also CarMax. They are some of our strategic investors, and with most of them, we also work in one way or another. Specifically, Volvo Cars USA and General Motors are two car manufacturers that have really supported us in terms of scaling and offering this to their wide dealer network. And this is what we are mainly focused on today.
Wow. So it's been quite a journey. You guys started around 2016, 6 years in, raising $100 million, and now over 200 installations worldwide. My understanding is you guys didn't start off in the car market, right? When you guys first built it, it was for a totally different market. Can you maybe walk us through kind of the trend, the growth of the company, where you guys were before, and where you guys are at now, just kind of how the company grew?
Yeah, it's a pretty interesting story actually, because when we started creating automatic inspection devices or scanners, if you want, for vehicles, it was for really a different purpose. It was the first device we created was an underbody scanner, so almost a kind of a flat scanner you put on the ground and you drive over it, which would take thousands of images below a car to actually find things like IEDs and bombs and drugs and illicit materials,
Mm,
explosives, and different things that shouldn't be below a vehicle when you enter an embassy or a seaport or an airport or a sensitive facility. So originally, we started from uh, having building these devices powered by a machine learning computer vision algorithm to automatically detect and show and expose where these kind of things that shouldn't be there are. And it was an interesting story also marketing wise of kind of starting through that for a year or so, and then understanding that this technology of looking at a vehicle on certain areas and kind of analyzing the texture, the color, the size, seeing if something that is attached or modified there doesn't belong there, and by coincidence also finding things like oil leaks and broken parts and rust and other mechanical and safety issues that anyone has below their vehicle. That actually kind of led us to relationships with car manufacturers and to a place where we wanted to really look 360 degrees and being able to tell you anything you need to know about a vehicle just by its exterior. So it was a very natural progression from finding illicit materials and bombs essentially below vehicles to, okay,
mhm.
we can use the same kind of technology to also look for safety issues and alert them in real time. And then we added more devices to look all around the vehicle.
Wow. So is now the focus moving forward still to focus on, working with these embassies and looking for, dangerous bombs or that kind of market, or is it more the focus towards car manufacturers now expanding worldwide into other car manufacturers, maybe supercars or what have you? Like, what's the aim moving forward?
So to your first question, we're still installed in some sensitive homeland security related sites, and there's quite a lot of infrastructure companies that use these kind of scanners to make a more seamless experience at the access control points or vehicle access control points. Our main strategic focus today is in the automotive market. Most of our relationships and agreements and installations are today around dealerships, auctions, and fleets all around the world, but with a bit of more focus on North America. And today, our main focus is to bring this product to scale, to really standardize the vehicle inspection industry. So when yourself in Canada, in Vancouver, or myself now in New Jersey, we would take our car to get serviced or oil changed, or for even the DMV facility or the MOT in Europe to get your vehicle license, there will be one process which is objective, it's efficient, it's quick, it's quick. It looks at your vehicle. These devices actually help capture imagery around your vehicle, and it just gives you a full report of anything that needs attention. So our main focus is now installing in thousands of sites, first in the United States, but then also around the world, where we already installed in places like Germany and Japan.
And another interesting angle, and I'm just thinking about this right now, might even be like insurance, right? Like car insurance when they're analyzing inspecting your car to see how much premium you pay for your car insurance,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe when you're selling a car in the future, right? When you're selling a car back into the dealership, like there's a lot of different angles, but um, no, that's super cool. What's the business model like? Do you guys are you paying for the machinery, the setup, or is it like a reoccurring, like pay per scan kind of setup? Like, what's the model?
It's a good question. I think we're a pretty unique combination of hardware and software. There's not a lot of companies that offer a kind of a full suite as we do, which on one hand is based on these touch points, which are physical, which give you the best kind of imagery, the highest resolution, a standardized kind of repetitive, high quality image that we can analyze. But the real power is in the cloud and in the algorithm. So most of the business models that we work with are based on what we call inspection as a service, which is almost like SaaS, like other kind of services that you may know. And we usually work on monthly subscriptions, which are based on different criteria, like the amount of vehicles that will go through, so the volume, the data, the amount of lanes, so how many devices will be required, and also things like which devices are relevant, whether it's only underbody and tires, whether it's underbody, tires, and exterior. So any of the three could work together
Oh
or
wow,
alone. So there's quite a few bundles, which usually end up in a monthly subscription.
so cool. And is everything made in the U.S. or are they made? Or is everything made in Israel or UK or?
Yeah, no, so it's assembled today and I would say supported by companies in North America, partners that we have in North America.
I see. Cool, cool. So let's get into everything. Obviously, you're
Hmm.
in a very interesting market. I don't even know what you call this market. I guess it's automotive, but it's very innovative in that sense. Like,
Hmm.
what's the key to marketing in your area? You're B2B. You're not really
Hmm.
B2C. So
Hmm.
what's the key to marketing for you guys?
So first of all, regarding which space we are at, we are an artificial intelligence computer vision company. So that's the technology we bring. But our
Hmm.
main market is we're an automotive tech company. That's our focus.
Hmm.
And that is very B2B. But like you said, if originally, in order to find our grounds and build the right partnerships and give the right value proposition, it was very much
Hmm.
about who are we working with, which use cases, who are the people that are benefits, whether it's benefiting from devices like this, how much are they willing to pay, which are
Yeah.
clear product marketing questions. I think that what we're understanding more and more is that our product in the end touches people or consumers just like me or you that own a vehicle. You drive through a dealership, you see a big screen, you're about to be scanned. You drive through this device when the traffic light goes green, and you get out of the car and a big touch screen is waiting for you with your complete vehicle status and report. So the customer experience is very important for us, and a lot around our messaging and about how we tell the story of UVeye is related today to the customer experience, and that's also kind of a joint vision and something very important to us and to General Motors, for example, that we partner up with. That besides us telling the story of how this could increase efficiency, and it could make give more funds and more resources and make more money and save money and do a lot of wonderful things for businesses that use this. We're mainly interested in telling the story from the customer point of view of how transparent it is now to understand what's wrong with your vehicle, how quick it is. You have it at the tip of your hand in your mobile device. You can see these things that were a bit relying on mechanics or on definitions that you never understood before, and suddenly it's accessible to you as a person. So, in terms of our marketing efforts and story, it's very much around talking about the benefits on the B2B level, but giving the
Mhm.
experience feel on the story on the consumer level as well, while also uh, um, uh, kind of telling the story of standardizing an industry or standardizing a process that was very much manual. Because what we're essentially doing is we are taking artificial intelligence and specifically computer vision, and we are
Mhm.
looking at a process that was manual for a long time, and we're applying it. We're applying it to just do it much better, quicker, faster with data. So the standardization is a very important message for us as well.
So if I were to paraphrase, keys to marketing, at least in the beginning, was partnerships,
Hmm.
and then value proposition, and then messaging. Those are the
Hmm.
three keys to marketing for you guys, right?
Yeah,
Am I missing anything?
I think that it progressed over time, but yeah, you're right. I think that in terms of sales efforts, it's always, and that's principles in making your resources more efficient, or even in B2C things like growth hacking,
Hmm.
finding the right partners that, in our case, car manufacturers understood the value of what we do and got the testimonials bottom up, and then partnered with us on a strategic level, and also the value proposition of what it actually brings and what it actually does with the right messaging, which talks about the experience. These three paired up or married together, these three different characteristics or elements, they're the ones that tell a good story, and people get it. To get combined with great technology that really gives, you know, really good value.
Yeah. So obviously now with partners like Volvo, Toyota, GM, life is probably a little bit easier for you guys now, right? But in the early beginnings, when you guys didn't have these partnerships, what was the secret sauce? Like, how did it obviously, it might have taken some time, right? You guys started in 2016. It might have taken some time. Like, if you were to say what was the key there, and when you talked about growth hacking, like, how did you get in front of these big groups in the early stages, and what did you guys focus on back then?
It's a good question. I think we went through different times. By the way, the fact that we have great partners now, on one hand, it makes us more trusted, and we have much more access to people that we want to work with. But it
Yeah,
also puts a lot of responsibility on our shoulders to deliver, to you know uh,
for
uh,
sure.
give the best service, portray the best content and best practices and training materials. So our life didn't necessarily get easier. It just got more, attentive to scale. But if you
Mm-hmm.
speak about things that worked well early on, I think we're very lucky to come from an ecosystem in Israel, which the automotive scene and automotive technology scene in Israel is um, very advanced. Whether it's startup accelerators that I can mention, like Drive, or a body like EcoMotion, which brings the top executives of car manufacturers and decision makers from all the world once or twice a year to Israel for big events. So
Wow.
in some respects, we had a great technology. There's a lot of people that worked very hard on making it super versatile and tangible, and it just got better and better. And on the other hand, we had the right opportunities to showcase this to people who are important in this industry. So it was
Mm,
a good, on the other hand, I think as we progressed and once we started picking our focus, which is today mainly dealerships, auctions, and fleets,
mm,
whereas we worked with other kind of companies like insurance, like logistics, but these are the three that we work to work mainly with. I think that the secret sauce, if you will, or I would say decisions are to focus and not go to planes and to trains and to
mm,
different other kind of categories. So
absolutely.
focus on vehicles, focus on the use cases, and then also understanding where we put our resources and our efforts to be lean and use the least resources to have the most relevant eyeballs, that whether it's dealer groups, whether it's in the end getting to the car manufacturers, whether it's connecting to the National Dealer Association here in the United States and other kind of organizations. So it's just about uh, being humble and understanding the market, and trying to make our resources as most efficient as possible, with not being afraid and shy to use industry professionals to refine our value proposition, to tell the story better and better on how this could actually solve problems for these people. Because personally, I'm in marketing for quite a long time, but
Mm,
not from automotive. And the
mm,
co-founders of the company and the chief strategy officer and other people in the company as well, originally we're not from automotive. So
mm,
I think being humble and being agile and um, building these partnerships, nurturing them, while just refreshing our story and values, or value proposition to the different roles, to the different use cases, and all the time improving it, uh, got us to really good places.
yeah. So it sounds like the focus right now really is around content and education, right?
Mhm.
Of what of UVI's technology. What are some of the channels that you guys focus on nowadays? Like, how do you get the story out to the masses?
So I'm a big fan of true impact. In the end of the day, we, as the marketing team at UVI, we need to have all the tools to get the right evidence and the right best practices and the right stories of the impact that we're making. And then the story will tell itself. The technology, if you see it, pretty much talks for itself. But uh, it's our job to make sure it's shown in the best manner. And
Mm,
once we have these advocates, which we are making an impact on, and we are really, making a change for them. It's getting out those stories with the network that we build, with using their own channels. Even if the dealership is very happy with us, we can build assets for them and help them
mm,
tell the story. So it helps them help us basically, and helps themselves tell their customers that they now have this really unique experience when you come to the dealership. So it's empowering the existing clients. It's telling this story, whether it's on our channels or their channels. It's using public relations wisely and building our relationships with different publications and journalists that keep following us and are excited about what we do, and are excited about bringing technology to the service lane and to the auction world and to the fleet world, which a lot of these things, there's a lot of money there, there's a lot of efforts there, there's a lot of resources in the automotive industry. And why not have the best technologies there? Why not make processes more automatic and more efficient and based on technology, and focus people's time on what's important. For example, inspecting vehicles. Why do you need to take every single vehicle and put it on a lift? In some cases,
Mm.
not even on a lift, but or walk around it and take either pictures or a manual kind of inspection with your eyes, when you can just drive it through a device like this that shows you where you need to focus your attention and look at, while also providing a much better customer experience. I think that telling that impact and story and how it affects those places in numerous channels, that's my kind of jurisdiction. And humbly saying, I think we do a pretty good job.
I think so as well. Well, Yaron, super happy that you came on. For people that want to learn more, we'll have the email. We'll have your website on the show notes. What's next? What should we look forward to for over the next 6 months, 12 months? Like, what's the next milestone for you guys?
So we had, if we're speaking also specifically about our marketing kind of awareness work, so we had two very big announcements recently. One was General Motors, of them embracing our technology and helping us kind of tell this and work with their dealership network, which is over 4,000 dealers all across the United States. And also Volvo, which just announced a program to actually give incentives and help their dealers get this kind of technology. So we've got these two giant car manufacturers with thousands of dealerships all across the US, saying publicly and also in their internal channels that they are keen for this to be their dealership experience. And there's also, as I mentioned, other cases like auctions and fleets, which a lot of interesting things are yet to come soon in those two use cases. But if we speak about the dealership world, I think everyone can expect seeing more and more devices of these types in places where you buy or sell your car or service your vehicle. I would say keep a lookout for these kind of devices that help you automatically show you anything that is wrong or requires attention, or even not wrong, just give you a status of your safety situation of the vehicle. And I believe that in the next couple of years, more and more consumers like me or you driving our car will just get exposed to this and get to experience it firsthand. So that's what I would look for. Personally, for us at UVeye, we have a lot of work to deliver and do a good job in standardizing this and delivering these devices to these thousands of places, telling a good story, and also a few more interesting announcements in other fields, which I can't disclose yet, but you guys can keep posted.
Well, let me know once you guys expand to Canada. I'm excited. I'll definitely be one of your first customers driving through that thing, and happy to have you back on the podcast and help spread the word when you guys do.
Sure. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Yaron. Appreciate your time.